Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to our show today. It's myself, Ed Diaz, and
Scott Barry. We're here to show you the Fantom for
In Stuff Music. In Stuff, yeah, that way, Scott.
Right.
You got it now. So for In Stuff Music. So before we get started, let's give a shout out to our partners out there. In Stuff Music, I'm going to show you their website. So if you're looking for some great musical gear, be it Roland or whatever else, you can go to instuffmusic.com. If you prefer to talk to someone in person, like I do a lot of times, you can also call them at this number right here, 412-828-1003. And they're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And if you check out a really nice website, but also check this out. They have available the product we are talking today, which is the Roland Fantom, which is available in a 61, a 76, and also an 88. And check this out. If you look further right now on their site, you will see that there currently is a $300 instant rebate. So you guys need to check this out and make sure and go to In Stuff Music so you can learn more about the Fantom 61, 76, and 88, which are available now. And it appears they have some pretty cool financing for you too. So let's get to it. So first off, we're going to talk about the Fantom today and show you a lot of the cool stuff that it does. And there's so much to this Fantom, right, Scott? All the different things that it has available.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton. It's a workstation, but it's designed a lot differently than what we're used to. Even in our workstations, Roland's previous Fantoms, this can do different things. And it's really cool the way that it's laid out. And we'll go through that. We've made it very user-friendly to get to things without having to go menu diving. So that's one. And as far as the sound and the sounds that are available for it, boom, I mean, it's huge. It's absolutely huge.
Well, the first thing, like Scott just said, to make it easier, even from previous Roland workstations. On previous Roland workstations, you would have different modes you would have to get into. So you would have like a patch mode, a performance mode. Patch mode will be single sounds. Performance mode will be multiple sounds. Or you'd have a live set, a studio set, a single, all this stuff. Well, now...
Yeah,
all these different things, all these different modes. But now with this Fantom, Scott, how many modes are there? Uno.
One. So everything is stored in what's called a scene. A scene can be a single sound. It can be layered or split sounds. It can have sequence data in it. It carries pretty much everything. And what's really cool is as of one of the updates, version 1.5, I think it was 1.5, you can actually share scenes. So for instance, if Ed put together a scene with the sequence and a bunch of sounds, he could send that to me over the interwebs and I could pick it up and put it in, and it would have all the sequence data. It would have any custom sounds in it that he did if they were in the engines were installed in my Fantom. It just comes over in the scene, which is unlike any other keyboard on the market right now. So this can get really, really big because you can start moving scenes around through your friends or a third party maybe developing them. We've seen a Facebook page where they're sharing scenes, not just patches, scenes. This is huge.
So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys real quick. We're going to start digging into it, kind of having fun. So we're just not talking. But check this out. First off, let's talk about the top of the keyboard, just so you can kind of understand what we're going to be going over today. First off, just so you guys know, you have a color touchscreen right on top. Now, if you want to go ahead and move around differently, and I'll make it so you can see a little bit better with me. We can follow together. I can go ahead and use my cursors and move around this way. I can go ahead and do the dial this way. That's right there. I can do my increment, decrement number. However you want to kind of work, you can work in the Fantom. And as Scott and I were mentioning earlier, everything is a mode. So for example, I can have, oh, I'm sorry, it's just a scene. Thank you, Scott. So as we were saying, so I can be in any, it's all a scene. So this particular scene that we have up right now, it has some different variations of it. So it starts off with a nice sound, which actually has a layer of the V piano and the pad. But if you look in here, it also says you can have another pad, another acoustic piano. So I can turn on and off different zones. Each one of these is a zone. And the Fantom can have, is it 8 zones, Scott? It's actually...
Yeah, it's total of 16. And the thing is that if you wanted to look inside that zone or that scene to see exactly what's going on, there's a dedicated button that's to the right of the screen called Zone View. And if you push it once, you'd see a single zone. If you push it twice, you'd see 4. You push it again, you'd see 8 of that. And then the third time, all 16. So it allows you to look at it in an easier way, but you can see exactly what's going on and how easy it is just to edit. Again, we didn't have to go through a special thing and click something and then go into the menu. It is a dedicated button.
Yeah, right in here. So, for example, in this particular scene that we're showing, this very first one, I'm going to go ahead and turn on different zones very easily just by using these buttons. And I can go through the different zones this way, but I can also easily layer, which we're going to get into that in a minute. So I might start off with a very nice, make sure you got my pedal going. I might go ahead and start off with a real nice V piano. And then very quickly, Scott, I can go ahead and hit this zone number 2 and bring in another sound. And if I wanted to see, which I don't have to, I could go ahead and pop this open so I can just take a look, just so I know. I'll bring in this next sound. And I can even control how loud it is. If I want to, I can bring in another zone, another sound. And maybe I'll take this one down and adjust live. That quick, we can go ahead and bring stuff in here. And if I want to, I can bring in another one, which this one happens to be a synth Vox. And then I can adjust. Maybe bring in another sound. And that quickly we brought it in there, and we were just technically, Scott, just so everybody sees, we're in the same scene. That was all done from the same scene. And if I wanted to, I can move on to another scene, and I might go ahead and pull up one of my favorites, Classic Trap. And this one's going to have a totally different vibe with using my sequencer in here. So I'll just give you a quick taste. So that quickly, I can go from playing a nice scene with a bunch of layer sounds in here to an actual song, just have it play this way. I can also go to another song, automatically loading that song data in there. I don't have to do anything special by going into a special mode. I can just hit it and press play. And we're off to the races. That's something cool. And then if I wanted to go and check out my single sounds, I can go from any spot inside the Fantom and say, hey, I want to start brand new. I can go ahead into here and hit single tone. And now I have a temporary scene that I can go into, and I can actually go ahead and go through the buttons here. Right, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of cleans it briefly so that there's no parameter adjustments, offsets, things like that. You can just get into it and just start now, clean. The other thing that's nice about the category buttons is that if you hit that button twice, it will open up the list of all the sounds that are in that category and the subcategories. One of the things that you'll find out really, really quick with the Fantom is that there's several ways to do the same thing. So depending on your workflow, whether if you hit the button twice or you hit enter or you hold shift and do this, you'll find that there's several ways to do the exact same thing, which is really, really cool in my opinion, because if I'm working and I'm doing something, I know that there's several ways that I can get to what I am looking for.
Absolutely. So let's go back. I'll tell you what, we're going to go back and discuss some sounds. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I really enjoy in here, because also with all of these scenes, and there's all these different banks of scenes we can choose, you can actually go in here and you can star them. You can star your favorite scenes. And as you see, I have a bunch that I have rated in here, so I can go in and do that. And it's very easy to do. Let me show you real quick how we do that.
Now think favorites. This is basically a favorites, but you have a ranking of 3 stars, 2 star, 1 star, and you can decide if 1 star is the best or 3 stars the best. Totally up to you. But the thing is that in most cases, in most keyboards, even some of our stuff in the past, you were limited to the amount of favorites that you could store. In the Fantom, not only can you star the scenes, you can also star the individual sounds in the individual categories or throughout the whole keyboard. And we'll go through that. And this is just another amazing, awesome thing, because we'll talk about how many actual sounds are in the Fantom.
Yeah, so we're gonna go through this now. I just wanted you guys to just see the scenes. So let's say I have a scene here. This one called something air. We have that in there. Uh-oh, that's all right. Decline that call. So we have something here called something air, and I can go ahead and have this held. And then maybe if I wanted to just play. And if I determine this is something that I want to go ahead and call up quickly, I can go in here and just press edit on the touch screen. And then I can go ahead, if I wanted to put a memo, I can type in a memo. And you see here it says synth pad. Well, I can name it whatever I want, put any kind of memo I need so I can know which sound I'm bringing up. But then I have this called scene rating. So I can go ahead and turn the dial knob and I can adjust it from 1 star, 2 star, or 3 star. And then I can even go in and adjust the color. So I can color code my scenes very quickly so I know what type of sound, or is it associated with a song, anything I want in there. And then even, this is something good for all of us that are doing programming. Sometimes when I program, I might program differently and it sounds loud or it sounds great, but it doesn't work right when I'm playing with people and I need to adjust my levels. Well, I can adjust them this way quickly, but if I want to do it very fast on the fly, I can adjust the level of the entire scene just like this. So with that being said, if I have it how I want it, I could go ahead and press right. And then when I'm ready, I can just press the star and it would bring it up. So I'm going to show you real quick. And Scott, be prepared also. I want you to show some sounds as well. But I've kind of chosen some scenes that I really, really enjoy. And I want you to see those are in here. And these are already a part of the Fantom. And we're going to get more into sounds and showing you, because at its core, the Fantom is a great sound engine, great tones in here made with multiple types of synth engines in here. So first off, I might want to go ahead and say, let's check out this chamber strings, right? Really nice. So I love that. And of course, remember, if you wanted to see what the recipe was to make that particular sound, you can look right on the top here. Check this out. This particular scene, and we can have up to 16 zones, is made up of 7. And so I can hit zone view and I can look, oh, look, it's made of all these different violins. And then it's hit it again and I can see everything that it's made up of. That's wonderful right
and
there.
And it also shows you, I mean, if you see in there, you can see all the splits.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at that.
Keyboard ranges. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that's really, really cool that Roland has done for a long time is what's called a keyboard switch. And normally when you want to layer sounds together, you've got to put them on the same MIDI channel. So if I wanted to layer piano and strings, they both have to be on MIDI channel 1 or whichever MIDI channel. With the keyboard switch, and that's basically what that little button above the fader is doing, is it links them and yet keeps them still separate on separate MIDI channels. This can be highly important if you wanted to send expression messages or pitch bend or anything like that, and keep things separate while they're still connected. So this has always been something really, really cool that Roland does with the keyboard switch.
Yeah, and so let's check out some more sounds in here. So I'm once again, I'm pulling from the scenes of the Fantom, and you can see there's a whole bunch of them. Now I love this for demoing sound, Scott, and showing people. I can say, you know what? Here is a whole menu of lead sounds. Check this out. Yeah. So I just, it's chosen. I didn't have to go in and press enter. I just chose it on the screen and we're there. And now I can go ahead and use my zone select button and I can have a different lead per zone just by pressing this button. So I might have...
Again, I'll just say it real quick. So for people that may not know out there, that little button on the very, very top is like the select button or the one that you would want to choose to edit. So you've noticed that even though there's no buttons above the faders lit, it still sounds. And this is what's called common. So it's transmitting MIDI and playing the internal sound at the same time if that button's off. So Ed will go through how easy it is just to select those other options for leads.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have this nice, just the menu. So, okay, that sounds pretty good. And remember, I can always go zone view so I can see exactly what I'm doing. and I'll put it on the 1. So you can see that's the name of that particular tone in that zone. So when I hit zone 2, look, here's another one. Let's go zone number 3. Zone number 4. So you see, we're actually going through a lot of different types of sounds right here.
And at this point, let's say you wanted to layer them, like you wanted to layer zone 1, 3, and 4. All you'd have to do is just turn on that button right above that slider.
Yep. So check this out. So we're going to start off with this one. So I'm going to, that's in here. But say I want to go ahead and put this next one. Now they're together. Say I wanted to go ahead and put, let's do number 1 right there. So now I have 1, 3, and 4. Maybe the number 1 is too loud. Let's bring in one of these other ones. I don't even know what this one is. Number 6. Now.
Yeah, now here's the other thing that's really cool because it's right there. The knob above the button, in between the select button and the on button, is a pan knob. Now, what's really cool with the Fantom, if you haven't figured it out yet, is that when you grab a slider, you turn one of those knobs, it gives you instant feedback on the screen of what's going on. There's no guessing. Was that pan? Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. No, it tells you on the screen. And I love this visual feedback.
Yeah, it's instantaneous, so you know what you're doing. And the great thing is we just took this particular menu that's already preset, so all of our users can kind of have fun and just go through sounds quickly. We just created a nice layer. Very fast. Very fast in there. And if it was something that I determined, like, man, Scott, I want to use this once we get out of here and I can go do a show, I can just press the right button and I can save this as either this overwrite the scene, or I can name it as a totally different scene. Very fast.
And store it anywhere. And he, like I said earlier, could actually email me that scene. He can export that scene,
yep,
send it to me. I can import it into the Fantom without it disrupting anything that I've got in there. So that is awesome. I mean, really, really cool. Now, if you had a sequence built in with it, that would come over too.
Yeah.
So I have instant access to it without getting a full backup. I can just get the one scene.
Yeah, and just real quick, and I would just be using just a regular USB thumb drive, just for you guys can kind of see right here. And if I wanted to share the scene, very easy, you know, menu, I would go into utility, and I would go to export, and it would say, well, what do you want to export? To the tone, a drum, a kit, or a scene? And then I would just choose that particular scene, and boom, put it to the thumb drive, and then email that file off to Scott or whoever in the world, and they can have that quickly. So let's check out a couple more scenes that I've kind of brought in from for you guys to kind of check out. And there's a couple of them in here. Let's see. Of course, synth brass. Roland has always done great synth brass over the years, and so the Fantom has so many to choose from. Once again, well, I'll pull up this so you can see. Oh, here's a nice classic. And this one that we have, it's actually a MG. Oh, I think I paused the wrong scene. It would help if I could read. There we go. So nice in here. There we go. So there's one. You know what, Scott? This sound would sound pretty good if there was only a filter, a way I could adjust the filter on the fly in the Fantom.
I wonder, would you have to program the knob?
You know what? Maybe it would be this knob right here, a nice big filter. And look, it's a cutoff and a resonance. So that's
it's dedicated. Cool. It's dedicated. It's a dedicated knob that's sitting directly on the keyboard. So there's no program. I mean, you can program other things to do that, but it's nice that it just sits there. It's always there. Plus the oscillator parameters, the envelopes for the amp filter. It's nice to be able to have that there. This is just, again, something that's really, really cool.
Yeah, so check it out. Like I was just saying right now, I can hit the sound, and I can even grab it on the screen. Adjust my resonance if I wanted to, so make it squeal. and just kind of really dig into it that quickly. Let's go ahead and check out another one real fast. Let me go ahead and hit this one here. You know, so that's cool. Juno brass. So this is also another. There's so many great synth brass in here.
One of my favorite scenes for the brass is in the A bank, the original. It's a A6 or something like that. It's a
well, why don't you take over? Show us that one real quick if you can, Scott. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Let me show you. So we'll go into this scene. That way you guys can see both. And it's easy to move around to the different banks just by hitting the enter button. It comes up and gives you A, B, C, and D. So I can just choose A bank, which is where I'm at. That resets it to the beginning. And this light shade in brass is 7 layers, and it's just a great sound. Let me turn up the volume. That might help. Just one of my favorites because it's just a big, massive sound that you go through, and it just sounds great. One of the other things I wanted to show you guys is that if you go through the different pages, so you notice it's only A1 through A16, you can either hit this little arrow on the side here, or you can hold the shift button. And again, there are several different ways to do things. One of the ones that I absolutely love is this fade to you. And what I do is I like to run filters through it. So I'll pick a part like so, and then I'll just start to adjust the filters, and you kind of see an idea, and you can even draw on the screen.
Man, that's a lot of control right there, Scott. A lot of expression that you can get out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's something that's really, really cool. But I mean, when you grab the filters, so depending on which sound I pick, I mean, I can totally shape it. And I can do the same thing for the amp envelope and the filter envelope right here on the screen if I wanted to. And if I wanted to get even deeper into it, I can just hit the parameter button, and I'm going right into the menu. So I don't have to go menu, tone, edit, and start going down all these different layers. That's one way to do it. But the other way to get to things quickly is just to grab the onboard buttons, which is just amazing.
So real quick, let's take a quick break right here so we can answer a couple of questions and give a couple of shout outs to all of our friends and family for Roland and users out there. So Cyrus Arion asks, does the Fantom have RAM sampling? How much RAM does it have? And Scott's thinking,
yeah, well, it's like the sampling that's available at this time is in the sample pads. And the sample pads, you can have 4 banks of 16 each, which the total memory on that I think they've carved for it at this time is 2.75 gigs.
Yeah.
So, which is, if you do the math and you look it through the audio, it's something ridiculous. As far as time. So, I mean, those could be backing tracks. Those could be special effects. It could be anything that you want. So there's a ton sitting there.
Yeah. If you, the old formula. So let me break this down real quick, Cyrus. So as far as RAM, that's kind of the old way we were doing things. And so it's done a whole different way now, because now hard drives and everything are a lot faster. The keyboards are a lot faster than they used to be. So we're not using it in the traditional way we've done it in the past. So it's not necessarily RAM that you would install. So it's done a little bit different. Now, for those of you that want to figure out how much approximate sample time that you can get, the old standard we would do, because we do samples at 16-bit. So a 1-minute sample at 16-bit is approximately 10 megabytes.
Right.
10 megabytes. And for those of you out there, a gigabyte is 1,000 megabytes. So start doing the math. And Scott just mentioned it's over 2 gigs. I don't remember the specific.
Almost 3. Yeah, it's almost 3. It's 2.75 that they've recorded in that area at this time.
So 1 minute of stereo audio at 16-bit is 10 megs. So woo, that's a lot. That's a lot of time. It's for me, it's almost so much time that I'm like, you're good. You're good. You know, if you run out, you're doing a lot of stuff. Want to give a quick shout out to some of our supporters out there and people that love the Fantom. We're going to go more into this. Dan Villanueva, what's up, Dan? Shout out to Bubby Lewis. I hope you and your family.
Bubby snacks.
Yeah, Bubby. And then Nathan Mann, he says he loves the new ambient pads library. And Scott, why don't you go ahead and get that ready, Scott? We're going to show some of that for those of you out there.
I don't have any of the libraries. The libraries right now are on the Roland Cloud. The Fantom and the Roland Cloud are connected. You don't have to be a subscriber. You have to at least have a free account, but you can pull down extra sounds, sound bank libraries, all the EXZs, which are full sound bank libraries or new sounds. I mean, it's not just something that's already in the machine. These are brand new waveforms and everything are all free for the Fantom. So if you create a free account, you wind up with all these EXZs, and just with what's on board on the Fantom, plus the EXZs, you have almost 9,000 sounds on the Fantom. Think about that for a second. 9,000 sounds. And this is where that favorites or that starring really comes into play, because the thing is that you've got a lot going on, but you can go through, you know, your string bank or your analog synth bank or your bass, whatever you want, and star all the sounds that you're like, that I'm going to use on this, or I'm going to use on that, because the Fantom can be a studio board, it can be a gigging board, it can be a worship team board, it can be pretty much anything you want. And having that flexibility and being able to keep favorites like that and star it, or go grab new sounds from Roland Cloud and just install them instantly, is just another layer of awesomeness. What was the thing that we were saying? We were saying that the Fantom is obsolete proof.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Did you guys happen to notice when I'm going through all these sounds, I know for me, it was just like, man, I just keep scrolling. I just keep scrolling, and this is in Roland Cloud. There's so many sounds available, and I know Scott and I, starting off as kids with synthesizers, we were happy to get 16 sounds, 32 sounds, 64, 128.
64 was common, especially like 60 and the Jupiters and the JX3P and things like that. That was pretty common. So you start getting past that and you're in 9,000. Again, this is another reason. Think about it. You get the $300 instant rebate off right now through Enough Stuff. And they've got the financing, which I believe they're doing. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, 24 months, zero financing.
What?
24 months, zero financing. So you can do this. You can pay it off or however you want to go. But I mean, that's affordable to me. You know, the whole amount may be a little tough, but the financing, no question. Let's do it. And the value that you get for the dollar, because this thing's still growing. There's a lot happening for the Fantom right now.
Absolutely. And once again, if you don't know where to go, you can go to instuffmusic.com. And if you want to talk to someone in on the phone, or I think in the person, you could probably work that out, but call them first at this number here, 412-828-1003. And as you see here, they do have the Fantom 6, the Fantom 7, and the Fantom 8. And as Scott just mentioned, they do have financing. And then also currently right now, we are running a $300 instant rebate through September 8th. So you better get to the store quick and get your Fantom so you can take advantage of that instant rebate. And what was it, Scott? 24 months? So
24 months, zero financing. It couldn't be a better time to get this. I mean, especially with all of us right now, I am blown away with like how I see my Facebook feed with how nerdy, I guess is the word, that people have gotten with like the Fantom and the Jupiters and things like that, because they've had the time to actually dig and go through it. And it's awesome to watch all these light bulbs go off and all this excitement from people. And then we're even picking up little things that are like, I never even thought about going in like that. Yep. But again, it couldn't be a better time. And not to mention the 24 months, zero financing is huge. I would take advantage of it.
And then for those of you that are afraid, like, well, what if I get this machine and I don't know how to use it? Well, check this out. We also have available for you with our partners at End Stuff Music. You can go to YouTube and go to Roland Product Support. And, you know, we have a ton of videos for Roland and Boss. You see, we just updated how to use the Fantom with Roland Cloud. We have our partners, our bros at Boss putting stuff on the Jupiter X, Go Piano, all this different stuff there. Now, if you're like, well, how do I get through this, Scott? It's there's so many videos. Well, check it out. You can go to the playlist section, and then you can find the particular instrument that you're interested in. And you see here, we have the Fantom here, and currently we have 30 videos and more are on the way. We are getting those. And all you got to do is just click on the video. It's free and it'll get you going. So if you combine all the videos that are available for you with the financing and the great deals and the support you're going to get from In Stuff Music, it's a great thing. So make sure you give them a call. Go take advantage of that $300 rebate that goes on until September 8th, and then also that 24-month financing. That's an incredible deal that's going on.
And here's the other thing I could say with confidence. If you're still unsure or something like that, thinking that it's too much for you or anything, again, I can say this with the utmost confidence that we at Roland have probably the absolute best product support you're ever going to find.
Yeah.
So not only is there a product support department, you also have myself and Ed that are very available at any time through Facebook and through other channels, emails, etc. But we also do a Roland Cloud, training that can be more personal. We do other web things. So you can always find us for help. And there's a huge community on its own for the Fantom.
Yep.
So if we're not available at 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody is.
Yeah, so let me go ask her one more question. We're going to get back to it, probably going to get into sequencing. But Frank asked, quick question. Will the Fantom ever have multi-sampling capabilities? You know, like some of our legacy stuff. And, you know, all I can say is we are working at Roland throughout the world with all of our different teammates throughout the world, and there's a lot more coming. So,
coming, definitely.
Yeah, so just hold tight, and there's a lot more coming. So just hold on, okay? So once we can share it officially, we are going to share it from the rooftops and have video content to kind of help you. So just kind of have some fun there. So just so you guys know, we're here for you. All right, so let's get into some sequencing now, because if we look at the top of the Fantom, there is still a lot. There's so much to cover. Like, you know, Scott, he didn't even talk about, because we have limited time to talk about this massive instrument. You know, we have our main balanced outputs. You know, so you can have XLR out and that can go into
no direct box, just right into the snake or right into a mixer. Yep.
And then as well as that, you have your regular main 1/4 inch outs. So that's super easy to do that as well. And then you have, what is this, Scott? 2 sub outs. So these are both.
And again, these aren't subsonic. These are actually sub as an optional output. So if you had like a piano and a violin layered or something, you may want that violin going out a separate output that can be processed differently from the piano. So mixer can control the volumes. Or let's say it's a bass and an organ, and you want the bass to actually go into a bass amp. You can assign everything to go out these sub outs, but you have 2 sets, which is really cool.
Absolutely. So that's cool. And then also we have analog filter outs if you want to go ahead and run that separate. We have CV gate outs if you want to have some use some different modular products, which we have some great modular people partners out there in the Pittsburgh area. So I'm just giving a shout out to all of our Pittsburgh modular people out there. And then also if we look at this side of the keyboard, we have combi jacks that take a mic line inputs, 2 of them, so that way if you wanted to sample, you can sample from there, or plug a mic in and use the vocoder. The Fantom also has a vocoder in here that you can have a great time with. As far as pedals, Scott, did you know you can have up to 4 pedals hooked up to the Fantom all simultaneously?
Which can be doing all kinds of different things, which is, again, awesome to have that kind of input. I was going to show real quick if we went into the vocoder section. So I'll just do a tight scene here. So if I went ahead and selected vocoder and I go into to edit the vocoder, what am I missing? Where's my edit? Ed, you got it?
Oh yeah, you got it right there. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, at the bottom. It's right there at the bottom, Scott. See where it says edit on the screen?
Yeah. Okay. I'm blind. Sorry. It bright lights in front of me. I got blind on that. I'm so sorry. But yeah, as soon as you hit edit, now it gives you the option of different things that you can use as far as, choirs or robots or things. And you can also do a selected recommended tone. Now, again, these can be layered with other sounds that you have set up in that scene. But where it gets really, really cool is that if you get into the vocoder edit, you can use it as a carrier, or another carrier come in and do that. You have options between the vocoder type or the band level, so a 20 or 32. And this is where it gets really cool, is that when you touch this, you can see the vocal characters, and you can actually draw on the screen any of the vocal carriers, or you can roll the dice, and it will give you different options to go through. It's the most intense vocoder I've ever seen in the digital world. This is, I've seen them, the ones that were back in the 70s that had a lot of this options, but to be able to just grab something and change it as you want, graphically, it's impressive, but the power of it is insane.
So at this time, Scott, we need to make some beats. No, we need to make some beats and kind of have some fun and show that the Fantom can be used as a workstation to create music. So I'll go ahead and switch to my Fantom here so you guys can kind of see. And you know what? I can go ahead and just hit single tone. So I hit this one time, and now I'm pretty much set to go. I don't have to go into any special mode. I have my sequencer right here. So I'm going to go ahead and make the zone view so we can see a little bit. And just so you can see, and I'll just choose 8, but I could do up to 16 zones. So I'm going to say, let's do zone number 8 right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put drums, and just choose some drums right here. It's totally fine. Now, check this out. Inside my sequencer, I have a great workflow here. I have something called TR Rec, pattern, group, and song. So we're going to make a TR Rec, and let me press this button. So in the TR Rec, now I have different steps right here, and I can have up to 1 measure up to 32 measures to work with. So in my example, check this out. We're just going to use the step sequencers kind of vibe with the TR Rec. So TR Rec, Scott, a lot of our customers will recognize this from the TR oriented sequencers, the whole steps patterns of step sequencers. I'm sorry.
Any of the drum machines. Yeah, you're used to looking at 16 buttons as 16th notes out of a measure. So that's how you can program. But when Ed gets done doing a drum beat here, you'll see how easy it is. I wanted to show you something else too.
Yeah, so check this out. So I'm just hitting it. And if I wanted to program it, I can go ahead and just press play. You see nothing's going on. It didn't do anything, but watch. I selected that drum just by hitting it, and very quickly I can have 4 on the floor. That's cool. There's my hi-hat. I'll go ahead and put some in there. Great. There's my snare. Got my snare. Oh, I don't like that snare, Scott. I go ahead and let's move this here. That's cool. And so very quickly, we just created a beat. Maybe it turns out I don't want that snare, so I'll reselect it. And I'll just unselect them. It's like they never happened. Great. I'll go ahead and put look at that. I can just keep until I get the rhythm right how I want it. I could do it in this step way. And just kind of have some fun with it. There we go. That fast. Now watch this. If I press stop, where does this go, Scott? Very easy. Check this out, everybody. I'm going to go from TR Rec, and I'm going to press pattern. And essentially what happened, we took my TR Rec and we folded it into a pattern that quickly, Scott. So yeah, pretty cool, right?
And you can still go back and edit it in the TR Rec mode if you wanted to. Now, one of the other things that's cool with the TR Rec mode is that it doesn't have to be just for drums.
No.
You can import any note data into a TR Rec and move it around and fiddle with it, or just do like an arpeggiation and go into TR Rec and then start removing parts to create a completely different rhythm.
I'll tell you what, Scott, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm in pattern. I'm going to go back to TR Rec. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to choose the number 2. And I'm going to go to a synth bass. And there's a ton of synth basses in here. And let me just find one real quick on next. Oops. Let me go ahead and get this guy. There we go. So I can come into here and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and find. And let's use this bass. So I have this guy, this bass. And Scott mentioned about using arpeggio. We haven't covered that yet, but there's a chord memory and an arpeggio. So I can go ahead and turn it on. And if I'm not sure if it's on, remember I can hit zone view and I can say, oh, turn it on in that zone. So there it is. Now let's go ahead and hit TR Rec and make sure it's on. Got it going. Can have this going. And nice thing is, maybe instead of doing it in TR Rec, I can go and do it in the pattern. So this time, Scott, instead of recording in TR Rec and put it in the pattern, I'm going to record from pattern, but edit in TR Rec. Watch this.
Bingo.
This is cool. So I got this. So I'm going to go ahead and press record. And I'm going to go ahead and quantize, because I can do different quantize, grid or shuffle. I'm going to do a grid to a 16th note. I'm going to do my length to 2 measures. And count in, I'm going to have it set. You see, I have options of no count in, 1 measure, 2 measure, wait note. For this example, I'm going to make it so as soon as I hit the keys, it's going to start recording. And I also have the ability, if I wanted to, we'll do this later, I could have it loop record. Okay, I think I'm ready, Scott. I'm just going to go one time through, and we're just going to go ahead and record that. So here we go. 3, 4. Cool. It just recorded it. Now, you guys can hear there's a lot going on. I want to go ahead and have a little bit of space. Check this out. I'm going to press TR Rec. And you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to leave this original one there. And I'm going to go into Pattern Edit. And I am going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to move it down here. I'm going to go ahead into here and paste it. So I'm actually going to edit. I'm going to leave the original the same. I'm going to edit that one. All right. So now I'm ready. This is the one that's going to play. So I'm going to hit TR Rec and flip it back into TR Rec. And there's all my notes. Watch this. I can go ahead, press play. These are all the notes of that. And it's just showing 1 measure. And if I wanted to show the second measure, I just press Shift, and you see it shows me the second measure. So now I'm going to come into here. That's the first measure. And now I'm going to now I'm going to shift and do the second measure. And I'm going to do the same thing.
And you could even replace notes if you wanted to. Let's say for some reason you decided you wanted something else there, you could easily do it. But this is just another way of being really, really flexible and being able to create things on the fly that you may have not thought about or even gone through. It's like, hey, let's try this. And sometimes that sparks a whole new thing, which is awesome.
Absolutely. So now I'm done editing with that, just that little bit of editing. So I can go ahead and go back into my pattern. Boom, right in there. And now I have the original pattern. And I can press play. There they are together. Let's bring in the other one. That quick. Now, what about this, Scott? A lot of guys might want to, a lot of musicians might say, you know what? I want to do drums. I want to play them myself live.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to come into here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and mute this pattern. I'm going to just hold it down and see it's totally muted. So when I press play, it's there. And I didn't have to push hard. I just held it down for a little bit longer and it went ahead and took it off. So now I'm going to go ahead, get ready to record drums. But this time I'm going to do it 1 measure. I'm going to go ahead and still keep on wait note. But I'm going to do something rather than doing a new pattern every time I press record. I want it to mix into the same pattern, and I'm going to turn on.
Yeah, it's like an overdubbing switch. It allows you to just keep overdubbing as you go by doing the versus new. New will start a new recording.
Absolutely, and I'm going to turn on the loop record switch. So let's try this. Just start recording. Great. So I have that, and I can do record in, but it's still playing. So I can come into here, just hit start, and it's rating, and I can go ahead and do it. And obviously, I don't want to keep that. I can press erase. I could take out the 1 wrong note or the whole section of wrong notes. So I never have to stop what I'm doing. I'm good. I can close. I can take record and kind of. Like that. Start recording. Come in on time. 2, 3, 4. Record in. Start. And when I'm really done, I'm done. I just press stop and it's ready to go. So now look what we have here. Very quick. I can go ahead and say, you know what? And I'll bring in that pattern. And then I can bring it in whatever I want. Just bring it in patterns. How cool was that? How fast we were able to do that, everybody? You know, just let us know what you think, because this is actually really cool. I can kind of bring stuff in here, and if I wanted to, I could just keep on adding tracks. I can add an electric piano part, whatever kind of part, and just keep on stacking them. Now, let's talk about this real quick. What if I am ready, Scott? What if I am ready to get this song out of here? How would I do that?
You want to export it, is basically what you're saying. So you've got a song that you've built up of multiple tracks, parts, patterns, everything combined the way you want it to, and now you've decided you want to master it, or you want to bring it into a DAW. Is that where we're going?
Well, not quite yet into a DAW. Let's just say I wanted to maybe sample it. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the sampling in here first. So I can use this. I can use this one, and say I wanted to go ahead and sample it. I could go ahead and sample it. And on this example, I am going to go to a different bank in here, and I'm going to say pretend I'm going to use this song. Okay, so this is kind of neat. I'm going to come in here into my sampling button over here, and I'm going to say I want to go ahead and put a sample. So if I go shift, press shift, and shift is your friend in the Fantom. It's kind of nice.
Absolutely.
Shift, I can go shift Fantom, and I see all my different samples here, and I did see the banks. Well, I'm going to use bank 4, and I'm going to go ahead and do a new sample right there. So check this out. I'm going to go into sample utility, and I'm going to delete that sample. It's not there. So now that is empty. So now I am pretty much almost ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit sampling, and check out what the Fantom gives you. The Fantom gives you some pretty cool options here. I get some sampling modes. First, I can sample from the keyboard and the input. So if I wanted to get a rough mix of someone singing or playing or rapping or whatever, I can do that and combine the keyboard and that input. In my example here, I'm going to record just the keyboard's going to record itself. So I get a real nice, clean sound. And then if I wanted to, I could just record somebody sampling direct, either it be from some type of MP3 player, phone, whatever, just right into here. So in this example, I'm going to do a keyboard, and I'm going to turn it to auto trigger. Well, watch this. This means the sampler of the Fantom is waiting for either me to play or an actual song. So watch this. I'm all ready because I was in that scene, and now I just press play, not even start. Watch this. And when I'm done, I can press stop in the sequencer, stop here, and now I have a nice clean sample that I can go into here with my sample utility, and I can normalize my sample. And then once I am done, I can actually save that sample to my USB thumb drive that I have here. So this is something that's really, really cool that we can do. So I just wanted to show you guys that, but we're going to take it, Scott, I think now we're going to take it one step further. So
even the way you just showed it is a quick way to just get a mix down, so you could bring it into your computer, or if your car has, a thumb drive or anything like that, and just be able to listen to it as you drive around or walk around the house or something. So you didn't have to do much. Everything was self-contained. And I think you guys are seeing real quickly how creative the Fantom is. As they say, the creative hub. It is. I mean, from sounds to sequence, song ideas, sampling, or moving it through. But now, as Ed says, he's going to take it one step further. So this is something that is pretty remarkable, and no keyboard on the market is doing this right now.
Yep, and I'm getting it set for you real quick because I want you to see something. All right, so let's see here. Let me go ahead and do a new one. Okay, close. All right, don't save. Oh, I lost my window. Okay, so let's go ahead. I want you guys to see. Well, let's go right to it. We're running out of time. But check this out. I'm going to go right here, And I'm going to use my Fantom as an audio interface. What audio and MIDI interface right to my computer? And so in my example, I'm using Logic, but you can use the Fantom for this in any software. Well,
and it's
Scott,
just one USB cable. That's it. It's just a USB cable out of the back of the Fantom, which is the standard USB, into your computer, and install a couple drivers from our website, and you're done.
yeah, so check this out. So I'm gonna use the same song that we just did, so I'm gonna have that same song, but watch this time. Instead of sampling it, I want to go ahead and I'm gonna choose over here in Logic. And like I said, I've used Ableton a lot, and I know Scott uses Cakewalk, and we use different things. Works with any software. I'm gonna say I'm gonna do audio tracks, and I love this. And remember, it's using the Fantom as the device, input and output. And watch this. Look at all these inputs. This is all from the Fantom. So there's 32 inputs. And so if we go stereo, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is representative of the key.
Each zone. Yeah, each zone has its own track. Each zone has its own track.
Yeah, so this is cool. Yeah. So I'm going to say, you know what? I want to do 16 tracks because I have 16 zones, and it's going to go ascending. Watch this. Create. Boom. Okay. The Fantom is ready. Now, here's one thing I want to preface this with. Okay. Inside the Fantom, now we're going to be using this USB right here. I want to quickly explain. Using your shift, if you go shift and you turn this light red, that means this is the how hot the Fantom is going out of the Fantom into your computer. Okay, let me show you this. See if I can show you this real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and have this here, and see here. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. So right now I'm gonna press play on that song, and I'll turn it down here. But look, nothing's happening inside Logic. But watch, I'm turning up the USB output. There's all my levels. I'm going to turn them back down. There we go. Turn it back up. There we go. So as you can see, this knob, the USB audio right here, it actually tells the Fantom how hot when it's red, it's going outside. Now, when we do the playback, I'm going to switch this by holding shift and turning it green, and this will determine what's coming from the outside in. So this will determine my playback. So let's go ahead and switch it back to red, and let's go ahead and record. So I think I'm all ready. Let me just go ahead and I don't think I need a metronome, which I could set up on another thing later. I always do this. Don't click. All right, cool. So I think we're set to go, Scott. Let me just check my levels. Press play real quick. Everything looks good. Look, I can even go too much, just like anything else. Let's adjust. There we go. Everything looks good. Now let's go ahead and record. I'll record inside Logic. It's recording. Press play in Fantom. And stand back. Stand back. So this is something that I want everybody to realize how cool this is. All right, let it play a little bit. All right, now let me stop it on the Fantom, and then I'll stop it inside Logic. So look what just happened, everybody. What do you think, Scott? This is something that's pretty cool that we can do.
Well, this is awesome because, like in the past, if you were working with the sequencer that was on board the keyboard, you get everything layered the way you want and kind of even roughly mixed. And then you're like, well, how do I continue on with it? You'd have to hook it up to a DAW and do each track one by one, and then try to line everything back up. And it was a nightmare. You're like, forget it. I'll just start over. With this, you can definitely start here. You can finish in the Fantom, but if you wanted to, you can take it into a DAW and still keep everything separate. That's what's so cool. I love the idea that I can go in and I can continue to process individual zones or individual tracks as a continuation on from where I started.
Yeah, so check this out. I can come into here now, and I'm going to solo a track that I just recorded from the Fantom. And remember, I have to go back here and shift, turn it green, and now I can control the loudness coming from the computer into the Fantom. So I'll press play in here. You're not hearing anything. Let me turn it up. Look at that. This is the volume. I'm controlling the computer with the Fantom that quickly. Let's go ahead and choose another track. Let's choose this one right here. press play inside Logic. Solo it, my bad. And let's do that again. There we go. How cool. Let's do one more. I'll solo one more track. And let's do this one right here. Let me back it up. And here we go. So keep in mind, this is all audio. We just dropped down in one instance. Okay, we didn't have to solo like Scott was saying. We could just go ahead and just knock it out that quickly. So really
and
quick.
This will work in any DAW. It doesn't matter what DAW you have. You can do this in any DAW, whether it's Studio One, Cakewalk, Logic, Ableton, any of them out there.
Now, yeah. Hey Terry, yeah, this is amazing. But watch Terry. let me. Terry, there's more. Watch this. This is something that's really cool. So I had to do that. Just, okay. Oops. Let me put this back so you can see. We didn't even mention it yet, but in the Fantom now we have something also called DAW control. So watch this. If I press this button, everything's hooked up. Now the Fantom can go ahead and it will go ahead and control what's going on in Logic that quickly. So let me go ahead. I have main stage up. There we go. Put the Logic back on. Press DAW control, and now we have a visual representation of Logic on the screen. So if I go ahead here and make sure I press the right button, there we go. I can go ahead and I can press play on my Fantom, and it's playing back what I did in Logic that quickly. So let me undo this real quick, and I can go ahead. Hey, let's back up. You see what's going on? Look, I'm touching it with the Fantom and backing it up. Press play on the Fantom, and we can have it play right there. So that's something that's pretty cool that we can do right in here. I'm going too fast. There we go. So we can have it go right in here and have it in there. And then also, if you look over here, look at what's going on the screen of Logic. I'm switching to the different tracks right in here. So this makes it a lot of fun as well. And then also there's a way here we can come inside. Whoops, my bad. We can come inside here and have the Fantom be the
mixer.
Right
That's
in here.
The coolest part. Yeah.
So that is something that's totally cool there that we can do as well. So if we wanted to, we can go ahead and have it there for me too. So let me see. I always mess this up. I always do, Scott.
For mixer?
There we go. So now I'm gonna switch the Fantom. Oh, I'm gonna switch Logic. So I love this view. I'm gonna switch it to. I always mess this up too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. There we go. Okay, so I have my mixer. Watch this. I am using the Fantom. Let me switch that screen so you can see. I am using the Fantom sliders for that. Look at that. So
I'm sorry, that is one of the coolest features ever because it brings us back to when we had control over things. I mean, I know some of you guys have controllers out there that have sliders on it, but you date us as old as we are. We remember being in the studios, recording reel to reel and using mixers and hands-on control. And this kind of brings that hands-on control back. And I just absolutely love this feature.
Yeah, so check out how easy that was. And all I was using was a USB cable from the Fantom into Logic. And once again, this works on which DAW, Scott?
Logic. This works on Logic and main stage right now. It has integration for the DAW control, but everything else that you saw, tracking the individual zones, any of that is any DAW. So yeah, we'll see what happens and what the future brings. But right now that's where it's at. But man, still so much power.
And
over USB.
And we were recording audio, but you could also record MIDI simultaneously on separate MIDI tracks. So maybe you record the Fantom audio, but you're like, I have a software synth I want to use for that particular sound. Well, since you have the MIDI also, you could do that as well. Or maybe you want Yeah. Or maybe you want to integrate some of the Roland Cloud soft synths in with the Fantom sounds. You can do that because you have the MIDI. So let me give a quick shout out again, since we're coming to the tail end of this. But definitely
check out their website. No, check out their website. They've got all three: the Fantom 6, the Fantom 7, and the Fantom 8. Again, if you like to call, you can call. But the big one here is not only do you get $300 off instant rebate. Boom, just right off the top. You also have the option for the 24 months, zero interest financing, which is huge and totally doable. You don't have to go sell a kidney or anything like that, or your sister or your kid. You can actually just
bring it down there. Bring it down.
Yeah, sorry, I had to go there. But no, I think this is a great thing. This is something I would definitely take advantage of. And a great time. And I think you guys saw how much the Fantom can do. Not only is the amount of sounds absolutely insane, but you've got the sequencing. We've got the onboard controls. There's very little menu diving unless you want to go there to get to what you want to change. Yep. Is there anything you want to add, Ed?
No, this is for me. It's been so much fun working with the Fantom, and I know working with the Fantom with my DAW, Logic or Ableton, has been just incredible, because in years past, working with many keyboards, getting that what you recorded inside the sequencer out of the sequencer and into something tangible that you can share with your other members of the band or people that you write with has been so difficult. But now with over USB, I can share the audio simultaneously, all 16 zones, all 16 tracks in one shot.
Yeah, one shot.
So that and I've actually used it this summer recording with different people, and it's just fun. I just record, boom, 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 record, add. I'm adding more tracks than ever with it, and it's just a lot of fun with me, and the quality is incredible. It's incredible in there. So I definitely want you guys to go ahead and look it out. Go check out our partners at InStuff. If you need more help, there's a lot of great Fantom groups. There's 2 main Fantom groups on Facebook that are worldwide. So you have other product specialists such as myself and Scott Berry and our other product specialists throughout the world. Also, you can check out, you can go to YouTube, go to Roland Product Support, and get some more help there. We got all kinds of videos on all the different Roland Boss products there for you inside playlist. And once again, don't forget to go and check out InStuff Music. You can call them at the number right there. And then also don't forget, they have that awesome financing deal. And plus, currently right now, the $300 off on the Fantom 6, 7, and 8 instantly right there. So make sure you guys go ahead and give them a shout. And during this time, support your local music scene as they support you. We'll do our best to support you so you can go ahead and learn your gear even better and have more fun with it. And with the 24 months, no interest, no payments, I could do that. Just like boom.
Yep.
Yeah, totally get it done. Anything else you want to add, Scott?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, again, keep in mind that the Fantom 6 and 7 are both synth action keyboards with aftertouch. This is a brand new key bed for us. It feels amazing. The Jupiter 80 was a great feeling one. This one feels better to me. And then the Fantom 8 is the aided. It's 88 key weighted. So I was thinking 88 keys and weighted. I get aided, but 88 key weighted keyboard gradual that is using the PHA 50, which actually has real wood on either side of the keys for balance. That's a great feeling.
And escapement. So when you push down on the keys, you actually feel a break in the keys that simulates. You can adjust this where it is the break in the keys, the softness. You can where that breaks in there. So anyway, this is Ed Diaz and
Scott Berry
signing off with our partners at InStuff Music in Pittsburgh, PA, but they are available throughout the world. Just go through their website, instuffmusic.com, and we'll see you next time. You guys take care, be safe, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.